History, Chapter 9 The Making of Regional Cultures, Part 2 Painting of Patrons, the tradition for miniatures. You all must have got your hands colored while painting. Painting objects in colors we like is such a fun. Some of us paint just for fun, but for some, painting is passion. In our country, many types of painting forms have been developed, such as Madhubani painting, Worli painting, kalamkari, miniature, and many others. Miniatures are small-sized paintings done in watercolor on cloth or paper. Miniature paintings initially started to present religious text in the form of painting. Earlier, miniature paintings were done on palm leaves or wood. An example of such paintings can be found in Western India displaying Zena text. Later, Mughal rulers also played a great role in the development of miniature painting. The great Mughal emperors like Akbar, Jahangir, and Shah Jahan have highly skilled painters. These painters display manuscripts containing historical accounts and poetry. These paintings displayed court scenes, scenes of battle, and other aspects of social life. These paintings were exchanged as a gift and only viewed by the emperor and his close associates. As the Mughal Empire declined, many painters moved out to the court of the other regional states. Mughal artistic talent reached in the courts of the Deccan and Rajasthan. Paintings of rulers, court scenes, mythology, and poetry were painted at centers like Mewar, Jodhpur, Bundi, etc. Another region where miniature paintings were developed was the Himalayan foothills around today's Himachal Pradesh. By the late 17th century, the Himalayan region developed an intense style of miniature painting, Basoli. Basoli painting is a fusion of Hindu mythology, Mughal miniature techniques, and folk art of the local hills. These paintings are marked by striking bright colors, red borders, bold lines, and rich symbols. Here, they, along with other patrons, founded Kangra school of painting. By the mid 18th century, the Kangra artists developed a new style of miniature painting. Bhanudatta's Rasa Manjari was one of the most popular texts to be painted here. In 1739, Nadir Shah invaded Delhi. Many Mughal artists migrated to hilly regions. Vaishnavite tradition was the source of their inspiration for this school. The unique feature of the Kangra painting was soft colors like blue and green. The miniatures were carefully preserved in palaces for centuries. Ordinary women and men also painted on pots, walls, floors, cloth, but their work did not survive like miniature. The growth of a regional language in Bengal. India is a land of many languages. Hindi is the most spoken language of India. But there are large chunks of the population that speak other languages. One of those languages which comes in at the second place in terms of a number of speakers is Bengali. Then how Bengali became a language, let us try to understand. During the 4th and 3rd centuries BC, the trade relations between Bengal and Magad grew. This led to the growth of Sanskrit. During the 4th century AD, Guptas started ruling over the North Bengal area. The Guptas began to settle Brahmins in the Bengal region. This Brahmin settlement led to the popularity of the Sanskrit in Bengal. In the 7th century, a Chinese traveler, Zhuangzang, observed that Sanskrit was being used all over Bengal. Further, in the 8th century, Bengal became the center of a regional kingdom under the Palas. Also, it was ruled by some independent rulers between the 14th and 16th centuries. Later, Akbar conquered Bengal in 1586 and formed it the Bengal Suba. During his rule, Persian was the language used in the administration and Bengali developed as a regional language. The current Bengali language has passed over several stages of evolution. Many non-Sanskritic words used in the Bengali language were taken from a variety of sources like tribal languages, Persian, etc. Early Bengali literature was divided into two different categories. One category is inspired by Sanskrit and the other independent of it. The first category includes translation of the Sanskrit epics, Mangala Kavyas, etc. The second category includes Nath literature like songs of Mainamati and Gopi Chandra, fairy tales, folk tales, etc. The texts belonging to the first category of Bengali literature are easier to date as compared to the second category. Pirs and temples in Bengal. In the 16th century Bengal, people started to migrate from the less fertile lands of West Bengal. They started to settle in the forested and marshy lands of the southeastern Bengal. They started clearing the forest for rice cultivation. Slowly, the local communities of fisher folk and jhum cultivators also mixed with the peasants. During the same time, Mughals expanded their rule in Bengal and chose Dhaka as their capital. They received lands and used them up for setting up mosques. There were some community leaders who provided assurance to new settlers. They also functioned as teachers and were sometimes related to supernatural powers. These leaders were referred to us as peers. The term peer included saints or Sufis and other religious personalities. Peers and their culture became very popular and their shrines could be easily found in Bengal. From the late 15th century, temple building also started in Bengal. Let us study about it. From late 15th century, temples were started to be built by powerful people. Temple was built with bricks and terracotta with the help of low caste groups. Some of these low caste groups were Kolu and the Kansari. Later, the coming of European trading companies gave them new economic opportunities. As their social and economic status improved, they started to build temples. The local deities, once worshipped in huts in villages, were shifted to large temples. The temples began to copy the double-roofed or four-roofed structure of the thatched huts. The thatched hut is a kind of hut in which the roof is covered with straw or other plant material. In the four-roofed structure, four triangular roofs placed on the four walls move up to converge on a curved line or a point. The interior of the wall was plain and the outer walls were decorated with paintings, ornamental tiles, etc. Such decorations can be seen even today in the Vishnupur in West Bengal.